YouTube, it's Tom. I'm back with another one for you. And this one is a good one, right? So I know that the fucking attention span is really short of a lot of individuals and shit. I look at the average time watched on the videos. The videos are like 10 to 15 minutes long, and you people can't even stay longer than 4 minutes. Maybe it's because I mumble and shit. Who knows, right? I think it's fun. You know what I do think is funny is that nobody has the patience to take the time to take a few years to learn this shit, but they have the patience to work fucking 30 years, 40 years at a fucking job that they hate every day instead of taking a couple years to learn the keys to not have to be a fucking slave. Do you see how fucking retarded that shit is? Moving on. This here is a an excerpt from Creditors and Their Bonds. And so these are some of the foundational principles that people need to understand in order to be able to learn how to operate properly in commerce. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the biggest thing. And the reason why I'm not doing classes on all this shit, because I could do classes on all this shit, is because you shouldn't fucking depend on anybody to get your fucking information. You should be reading this shit your fucking self. You know what I'm saying? And there's no way you're gonna fucking learn this all in a 10-minute video. So stop fucking being dumb for real, because that shit is stupid as fuck. So I mean, you need to read. There's no way around it. So bonds for discharge. This is the creditor holder side of the bond, evidence of a debt. When you use a bond for discharge, you are using the credit backed by the implied bond, the debt, resulting from your pledges to help the U.S. through its bankruptcy. There is no value limit to this bond, as you voluntarily agreed to the pledge every bit of substance you ever get until the money is put back into circulation. All of the substance you have, cars, dirt, shoes, food, toothbrushes, was acquired by giving the merchants Federal Reserve notes. You can never get title to things unless you pay for them. Since there is no money in the U.S., only debt paper, every time you get a pair of shoes, you are exchanging a debt for the shoes. In the U.S. since 1933, June 5th, 1933, House Joint Resolution 192. Look that shit up. That isn't acceptable practice. Outside the U.S. and the states that are not acceptable. If you try to get shoes without paying for them in the States, you will be put in jail for stealing. But in the jurisdiction of the U.S., you can get possession of the shoes by giving the merchant a debt paper. You just can't get title. If you want the title, you will have to give the merchant a real asset from the privatized substance. The only substance that is yours is your exemption. That equates to credit and admiralty and equity, right? There's only credits and debits. That's all that there is. Every piece of paper that you use, promissory notes, all that is the promise to pay. Nobody's ever gotten paid. So all you fucking dumbasses holding up all them stacks of money to your ear like, oh, can you fucking hear me now? Nigga, nobody can hear you, bro. You're talking to yourself, nigga. Think about that. So March 9th, 1933, 73rd Congress. Mr. Patman, under the new law, the money is issued to the banks in return for government obligations, bills of exchange, draft notes, trade acceptances, and bankers' acceptances. And that's what you do whenever you stamp it red A4V, accepted for value, return for value. That's what it is. Banker's acceptance. The money will be worth 100 cents on the dollar because it is backed by the credit of the nation, right? The full faith and credit that you get when you what do you call it? When you get your fucking my bad, yeah, I just smoked, or maybe I'm a little hostile because of that shit. So what is it? Backed by the credit of the nation, the full faith and credit that everybody is born here with. I mean, you have birthrights to all of the assets that are on this planet, in the particular section that you were born in, which is have all been cordoned off. You know what I mean? So you have birthrights to all that. And I mean, if you want to be real, you could essentially securitize the value of whatever the assets are on the land that you were born on, right? And create your own promissory notes and things like that, which we do anyway as creditors anyway, right? So that's all stuff that you learn when you're actually ready for that. When you understand that, then you can do that. And it takes a lot to get to that point. That's why they know that when you get to that point, then they just let you eat because you fucking did the work. So, you know, the money so issued would not have 1 penny of gold coverage behind it because it is really not needed. These bills of exchange are government obligations to the public corporations and in the private investors. These bankers' acceptances and government obligations. When you accept a presentment for value and return it, you have just done a banker's acceptance. Public banks can also do a banker's acceptance. It is not just limited to one side or the other, right? So if at any point one or either side of the parties involved in any transaction or whatever it may be owe a debt, they have the right to offset it by accepting it for value. And so you can do that with any presentment that's given to you, because everything is commercial. These people are operating out of commercial venues, a whole different realm, right? And so when you understand how that shit all operates, then you know that it's just business. It's never been nothing personal. You know what I mean? I took shit personal a long time because I knew that it wasn't right. But the only thing that wasn't right was the fact that I didn't take the time to learn what the fuck was going on and assume that I already knew what was going on. Because they teach us wrong on purpose, and then they give you the opportunity to fucking dig your grave or to fucking build a ladder. You know what I'm saying? You can do whatever the fuck you want to do with those pieces of wood. Some people will make a shovel, and some people will build a fucking ladder. I built a ladder. So that's what I got for you for now. Until we meet again.